Welcome to your daily Mars weather bulletin, where we first check in with our surface rovers before diving into the three-sol forecast. Perseverance operates at Jezero Crater, where on Sol 1947 of the mission the rover drove 358.9 meters, bringing its total odometer to 44.97 kilometers, and that update is already 6 days old, so the rover has most likely not moved since. Today's climatological model estimates for Jezero Crater forecast a high of -21 degrees, a low of -72 degrees, winds at 66 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.7 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.01. Curiosity operates at Gale Crater, where on Sol 4987 of the mission the rover drove 47.0 meters, bringing its total odometer to 38.06 kilometers, and that update is already 2 days old, so the rover has most likely not moved since. Today's climatological model estimates for Gale Crater forecast a high of -27 degrees, a low of -70 degrees, winds at 62 kilometers per hour, pressure at 8.8 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.77. Here is an archived image from Curiosity's MAHLI camera taken on Sol 4988 of the mission at Gale Crater. Rome was last confirmed at Utopia Planitia, where the last published traverse record puts it at 1.92 kilometers in total on Sol 347 of the mission, and no later movement has been reported. Today's climatological model estimates for Utopia Planitia forecast a high of -40 degrees, a low of -76 degrees. Winds at 100 kilometers per hour, pressure at 8.9 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.36. InSight's mission ended at Elysium Planitia, and as a stationary lander it never drove, so it has no traverse distance and no odometer at all. Today's climatological model estimates for Elysium Planitia forecast a high of -26 degrees, a low of -71 degrees, winds at 49 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.7 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.01. Sol 628 brings an average high of -29, reaching -21 at the Perseverance location. A dust storm dominates the sky, with a dust optical depth tau of 1.36 at the Rome location. Winds peak at 118 kilometers per hour at the Olympus Mons location. Overnight lows average -75, dropping to -97 at the Olympus Mons location. Across the coming sols, daytime and nighttime averages trend slightly colder, while the dust storm intensifies with higher tau values and strengthening winds. At the monitoring site, surface pressure is 7.7 millibars, visibility is 3 kilometers, and water vapor is 9.6 micrometers. The 5-sol trend shows temperatures fluctuating between -29 and -32 for highs, while dust levels remain steady. We now turn to the crossings of Phobos and Deimos across the disk of Mars. Phobos makes its first crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 53 minutes. The event occurs between 8:03 in the morning and 8:56 in the morning in Los Angeles, between 11:03 in the morning and 11:56 in the morning in New York, and between 4:03 in the afternoon and 4:56 in the afternoon in London, with Mars standing above the horizon in each of those locations. The next Phobos crossing of the apparent disk of Mars lasts 53 minutes. In Los Angeles, this happens between 3:42 in the afternoon and 4:35 in the afternoon while Mars is above the horizon, whereas in New York and London, Mars remains below the horizon. Phobos performs its third crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, with a duration of 53 minutes. The crossing takes place between 2:22 in the morning and 3:15 in the morning in New York, and between 7:22 in the morning and 8:15 in the morning in London, where Mars is above the horizon. while in Los Angeles, Mars is below the horizon. Deimos makes its first crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 70 minutes. The event occurs between 4:56 in the morning and 6:07 in the morning in Los Angeles, between 7:56 in the morning and 9:07 in the morning in New York, and between 12:56 in the afternoon and 2:07 in the afternoon in London, with Mars standing above the horizon in each of those locations. Mars is currently in the constellation Gemini. For observers in New York, Mars rises at 1:57 in the morning and sets at 5:03 in the afternoon. That concludes your Mars weather update. Join us again soon for the latest from the Red Planet.